My honored President of the State, Isaac Herzog, my brothers and sisters, citizens of Israel, and today, above all, the Holocaust survivors of indomitable spirit. We all embrace you with love. We all salute you this evening as we light the torches of remembrance and heroism at Yad Vashem. The survivors, the victors of the Holocaust, have lived to witness the rebirth of Israel, and they contributed to it. Yet in these days they are witnessing something else of immeasurable importance. During the Holocaust, the poet Uri Zvi Greenberg wrote, "We were a people marked for extinction, like a wild animal hunted down. But unlike then, today our people fight back with full force. Sadly, during the Holocaust, we were a stricken creature crying out in agony. Today, however, we have a state stronger than ever, roaring with power in Operation Rising Lion, and even more so in Operation Roaring Lion. Israel stands alongside the United States at the forefront of the free world. Together, we have struck devastating blows against the evil regime in Iran. The regime of the Ayatollahs sought to develop nuclear weapons and produce tens of thousands of deadly ballistic missiles intended to annihilate us. It funded and armed its terrorist proxies, which sought to encircle us in a ring of fire. At the same time, it spread a fanatical ideology across continents, defining the West as an existential threat. It believed it could do so unchallenged, but no more. Our people have learned the lesson. Year after year I stand here. I have pledged at the Holocaust Remembrance Day ceremony. We will not allow Iran to develop nuclear weapons, and as Prime Minister of Israel, I have promised there will not be a second Holocaust. This year we fulfilled that promise in practice. We delivered the heaviest blow in the regime's history. Today that regime is weaker than ever. Most of its military assets have been destroyed. Citizens of Israel. Looking back at the Holocaust, one question arises with full force. What would have happened if we had had a state before the catastrophe? What if the nations of Europe had stopped monstrous Nazism in time instead of appeasing it? What if the Allies had bombed the extermination camps? But my dear friends, there are no what-ifs in history. The terrible disaster occurred. The nightmare scenario was realized. The world was plunged into a war of destruction that claimed the lives of tens of millions, including 6 million of our people. That same world, which had been indifferent to the persecution of the Jews, came to understand that hatred of Jews, poisonous anti-Semitism, undermines the very foundations of human civilization. Given all this, we act so that future generations will not ask in regret, what would have happened if? The answers are being given now. For 2.5 years, we have systematically dismantled Iran's axis of evil. In Rafah, the Philadelphia Corridor, Gaza, in targeted operations, in the elimination of arch-terrorists such as Daesh, Sinwar and Nasrallah, and elsewhere, in Lebanon, Syria, Judea and Samaria, Yemen and beyond, and of course in Rising Lion and Roaring Lion. Between these major operations, I visited the United States several times and met our great friend, President Donald Trump. During one visit, my wife and I met a Holocaust survivor, Jake Waxal, aged 101. Jake, born in Poland, survived the Nazi inferno as a youth in camps and forests. His parents and relatives were brutally murdered. At our meeting in a synagogue in Miami, Florida, Jake stood up with a yellow star pinned to his lapel. Everyone present stood up and applauded him. I said to Jake and the community, after the Holocaust, we promised never again. We promised, and we are keeping that promise. We have changed the course of history. The independent state of Israel, the Israel Defense Forces and Israel's security services all express our renewed control over our destiny after centuries of profound weakness. I added, the establishment of the state did not end aggression against us, nor the resurgence of anti-Semitism worldwide. But unlike in the past, those who seek to destroy us today bring upon themselves destruction on a scale they never imagined. Indeed, we have destroyed large parts of the industry of death that the Iranian regime had developed over decades. The nuclear plants, missiles, UAVs, the naval fleet, the air force, and vast quantities of other weapon systems. Had we not acted, the names Natanz, Fordow, Isfahan, and Parchin might have been remembered eternally in infamy, just like Auschwitz, Treblinka, Majdanek, and Sobibor. But we acted, and how, in an unprecedented historic partnership with President Trump and the United States. On this Holocaust Remembrance Day, Let us remember that the State of Israel is at the peak of its power. Who could have imagined 80 years ago that our daring Air Force pilots and American military pilots would defend the Middle East, wing to wing? Defending Israel, the United States, and something else, we are defending Europe. Europe, which has forgotten so much since the Holocaust, can learn many things from us primarily. The sharp distinction between good and evil, which, in the moment of truth, requires us to go to war for the sake of good, for the sake of life. Europe, which faltered after the Second World War in defending what is right, now suffers from deep moral weakness. Europe is losing control of its identity, its values, and its commitment to defending civilization from barbarism. But Israel does not forget this eternal commitment. Together with the US and other nations with whom we are forging alliances that will yet be spoken of, we are defending ourselves. In fact, we are defending the entire world. Dear Holocaust survivors, citizens of Israel, no other nation could have accomplished what we have done. To bring about this immense transformation from Holocaust to rebirth, a rebirth rich in achievements that amaze the family of nations. The flourishing State of Israel will continue to serve as a beacon of liberty, progress, and prosperity. Israel's soldiers who courageously protect our homeland will continue to be an inspiration, as it is written in the Book of Chronicles. Mighty warriors, men of war, wielders of shield and spear, whose faces are like the faces of lions. As a nation of lions, we shall continue, with God's help, to roar the roar of eternity. I'm Yisrael Chai.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.